Hello, this is Kathy Rosewood Jonas, licensed clinical social worker from Epic Healing Eugene and Radiant Heart Consulting. And
I'm Aaron Arvidsson. I'm a licensed facilitator in the state of Oregon, work with Epic, and I live in the Portland area, but work at both locations, Eugene and up in Portland.
yeah, so I figured today, since we offer bi-monthly preparation groups through Epic Healing Eugene and Radiant Heart Consulting, and also bi-monthly integration groups, as well as our individual sessions that we offer for preparation and integration, personal growth groups. I figured that we would start interviewing and bringing on some of our facilitators. So Aaron, I was hoping that you could tell us a couple things, a couple nuggets of what you've learned about psychedelic preparation. Any surprises or any helpful hints that you like to give your clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really try to emphasize on a couple of different factors. One is a little bit of breath practice in advance, because that is something that is always with us during the psychedelic experience, right? We may be going through a really challenging time during it. We may be going through a really easy time. You may totally leave your body, but the thing that you'll still have is your breath. And so do a little bit of practice with that. And then we have a little mindfulness practice, mimicking some of that heaviness that can occur during the body phase, the body load phase of the psilocybin session. And then also really just getting some practice with working with their emotions and having some internal communication practice. So journaling, right? Starting that flow so that if they're in a state of maybe more meditative and they're needing to explore their thoughts more, it's a little easier because they have some practice.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking as you were talking, is I've had some different clients that have communicated to me that they're afraid that they're gonna stop breathing or not remember to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, how do you help somebody through that if they're getting so relaxed and they're or else
During the experience?
yeah, that
Yeah.
they're worried that they're gonna stop breathing.
Yeah, so that's also a good question. What I do is there's a couple of different ways. If I notice somebody is breathing maybe more shallow or faster, I'll remind them to take a deep breath. The other way is every once in a while, I myself might just take a louder external breath. A little bit of a signal without pulling the client out of the experience, and then that will allow them to remember to take a deep breath, kind of relax into it, and that's usually enough to trigger a deep breath.
Oh, that's good. That's a helpful thing, because often sometimes we're asked, actually many times, is as we're doing preparation with people and helping people prepare for these type of deep experiences, a common question is, what are you going to be doing? Like, what does the facilitator do in the room? Aaron, do you want to take a stab at that question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy, it really varies. For every experience is going to be different. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we're very hands-on, very much supportive with the client, holding their hand during it, a lot of words of affirmation. Maybe we're doing a little bit of movement with them, like, a little dancing or something around whatever they need to get out of a stuck place. Other times we are meditating right there with them, or maybe lightly reading a book, maybe doing some drawing. Also just note-taking, generally about what the person is doing, maybe what they're saying, and then also controlling the music, because that music really has the ability to take people places and can change the energy. And so, some of us do some intuitive cueing on the music as well, on top of the playlist we already have. And yeah, that's just kind of the overall, usually what we're doing in there.
Yeah. So sometimes what I'll say when I'm asked that question is I'm also trying to read what's going on with the person. Especially I'm the most active if somebody is stuck.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not stuck, then I will be sitting kind of waiting to be needed if the person needs an extra blanket or different things that might go on. But if a person is stuck, I guess I'll ask first, Erin. I have my own technique, which is I try to help a person change the channel, to try to walk around the room or do something, get some fresh air. At Epic, we have an outdoor courtyard that's attached to the garden room. So often just like opening up the door and getting some fresh air
That's
in,
helpful.
or something like that. How do you help a client change the channel?
Yeah, you touched on one big one there is movement, right? It's really, if we're feeling stuck along the journey, moving the actual body can be tremendously helpful. And it doesn't have to be, doing a bunch of yoga, or like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be dancing around. Sometimes just the tiniest movement, just change of scenery, getting outside, the fresh air can be amazing. Really just, like I said, changing the channel, I love that. Changing the energy of where they are, what's going on. Also, changing the music is a pretty effective way. If they're wearing an eye mask, right, seeing, do we want that on? Also having some grounding objects in the room, possibly before we start, is identifying a grounding object. So that if you're going through one of those really challenging times, you just need a little break, or maybe you are in a spot where, you don't entirely know what's going on because you're a little bit out of it, you're flying on the journey, and that's where we can use a grounding object to bring it back and really just come back.
What would be a grounding object?
It's different for everybody. It could be like this chime over here. It could be somebody bringing in a picture of their family. It could be a stone. That's really common for a grounding object, is some sort of stone, because you can hold on to it, you can look at it, maybe something on the wall. Just a reminder that yes, you're in Epic, you are safe, and yes, you did take some psilocybin containing mushrooms.
That is actually a good thing to remember, is because a lot of times that the experience will be a lot of your thoughts are leading to maybe images, and psilocybin has a way of speeding everything up. So, there's a lot that will be maybe seeming like it's happening, and that is something just to remember that you did take mushrooms.
Yes, yeah, and sometimes we're there to remind you of that, and hold
And
your
it will
hand
pass.
through it. Yep.
And then most people, as they're coming down and they're not as connected with the psilocybin being a helpful guide and giving you information, people miss it. So being that most people will miss it as it's, I'm not feeling the effects anymore, might show you that it's not so bad. So I hope that this was helpful for you, and we wish you great journeys. And if you come to us over at Epic Healing Eugene, Radiant Heart Consulting, we will look forward to seeing you.
Look forward to seeing you soon.
Take good care.
Bye.